Jason Miller had spent many years in prison before finally being released. The mistakes he made when he was young had changed his life forever. But now it was time for change. His years in prison had taught him the things that truly matter in life: family, honor, and most importantly, doing the right thing when given a second chance. When Jason was released, he realized that nothing was the same. He was alone and abandoned on the streets. He had tried to start over many times, but society's rejection of him and his past made every step difficult. His greatest dream was to find an opportunity that would completely change his life. But one question lingered. How would that opportunity come? One evening, while sitting alone in a small cafe, Jason read the newspapers and couldn't believe his eyes. One of Hollywood's biggest names, Robert Downey Jr., was launching social responsibility projects. These projects were focused on second chances. After years of battling crime, his aim was to help former inmates and support their reintegration into society. Jason smiled hopelessly. Perhaps an opportunity was much closer than he thought. One day, Jason, with a few pages of application forms in hand, took steps to apply for one of Robert Downey Jr.'s projects. However, as he had imagined, it wasn't easy. The project was highly popular, and the applications were in the hundreds, perhaps even thousands. But Jason was determined. What did he have to lose? Months later, a message on Jason's phone became the beginning of everything. Robert Downey Jr. had sent an invitation for an interview based on Jason's application. "I thought someone like you could truly change their life with this opportunity," it said. Jason felt as though he had found the most important thing in the world. This wasn't just an opportunity. It was a chance that would shape the rest of his life. When the interview day arrived, Jason felt incredibly stressed. He had taken a long journey before meeting Robert Downey Jr. in front of one of Los Angeles' most beautiful buildings. After a while, that familiar face appeared. Robert Downey Jr. greeted him with a smile. "Hello, Jason. I'm really glad you came here," Robert said, warmly extending his hand. As Jason shook his hand, he was reminded of his past. But this time, it was different. His only goal now was to prove himself. During the interview, Robert looked him in the eye and said, "We all have a past, Jason, but what matters is how we look toward the future. No matter what, your second chance is here, and I want to see you here. We really need someone like you in this project." Jason took a deep breath. A life filled with top-tier education and job opportunities seemed almost impossible for someone who had spent their life as an inmate. But Robert showed him his belief in him and began to take steps to help him. A year later, with Robert's support, Jason had completed his education and become a leader specializing in rehabilitation and reintegration. For the first time in his life, Jason had found meaning. He no longer wanted to fight only for himself. He wanted to fight for others as well. He was working to help former inmates regain their value in the eyes of society. One day, when Jason took the stage at an event with Robert, he grabbed the microphone, turned to the crowd, and said, "Maybe no one will remember me, but I'm here today because one man gave me a chance. That chance changed my life and allowed me to stand before you now. Life can change with just one chance. We all need a second chance." The crowd responded with applause. In that moment, Jason felt like he had won the greatest reward of his life. And Robert, having watched him throughout this journey, proved once again that he was not just a big star, but a true hero.